This is a good one because it is going to break down where BlackRock's strategy could be going around growth in the blockchain world. We'll break it down for you. I want to thank our sponsor today, and that is Coinbase. You guys can get of course, over onto Coinbase and start your crypto journey. It's very easy to set up, and you can get up to $200 in crypto just by joining on using our link down below. So check it out, use our link, and get started over there on Coinbase. Now, I want to showcase something to you. I'm going to zoom in on the real world asset site. And if you guys don't follow this is the BUIDL site, BlackRock's institutional digital liquidity fund. And I want to zoom in on something because this is where it gets kind of very, very interesting. From when the fund started, you know, nice little moves. Yes, we anticipated that. We had the Securitize team talked about this with Carlos. And then it's kind of been somewhat sideways, as you can see. And then I'm going to zoom in right here, because this right here is pretty intriguing. And you can kind of see these dates right here. So I want to click in right there, March 9-10. Yeah, right there. So 668 mil right there. Then we get up here over $1 billion on the 14th, and it just continues to climb. And here we are right there at almost 2 billion right there. Hard to see, but right there's the chart. You can kind of see. So the potential here is pretty significant. Now, what happened or what is going on that could cause a little bit of this move? Well, Securitize, as you guys know, is pretty much the leading RWA company. And I think the potential for growth is the key that everybody is looking at over time, what they're forecasting right now from where we are. And this is what you've seen. So if this particular growth continues at this pace, this is one of those very up and to the right growth curves around a blockchain that could explode. And of course, Ethereum is still very, very underserved as just a token price. Let me go over to this clip right here, because this is Securitize talking about them launching a new chain on Ethereum. Take a look.
All right, so what we're announcing today is the following. We're going to launch a new chain together between Athena and Securitize called Converge. RWAs and DeFi will converge into the same thing that will make grow both the RWA market and the DeFi markets to an order of magnitude bigger than that. So we're bringing this together, and it will be fully integrated in the chain. What we're trying to do here is to basically take traditional capital markets assets, put them on tokenized form, and then make them useful within the DeFi ecosystem.
DeFi markets around 100 billion, US capital markets around 100 trillion. So the potential to get DeFi for these capital markets could be huge. It goes back to the chart that I showed you earlier from Securitize in terms of RWA growth and what the potential is. All of this resides on Ethereum, guys. This is why ETH is in such a good position. Now, if you think about BlackRock and you wonder a little bit about where they're going, well, this guy right here is Robert Mitchnick. He is essentially their digital assets director lead. This is the guy that makes all the calls around RWAs. And in this next clip, he breaks down the comparison between Bitcoin and Ethereum in terms of growth trajectory and also the opportunity that is happening. Pay attention to this, because remember, BlackRock still has the largest ETF out there on Bitcoin, IBIT. This is a big statement, and it may be the point of where we see this all in on ETH. Take a look.
The resonance of the two kind of depends on for background and interest and expertise, right? If I go to the engineering part of our digital assets team or our engineering org broadly, I would say, it's probably 4-to-1. People are actually more interested, more excited about ETH.
All right, so as you know, BlackRock, a brokerage, is in a bit of a war right now with banks. This is something that we're going to probably see a lot more of. Now, you have to look at where banks are going, because this is a play that banks have not had a chance to do in terms of getting into blockchain, holding stablecoins, et cetera, RWAs, et cetera. This is where I think Avalanche could play into this. Take a look at this clip.
Maybe like a hot take from my side is that I think that any application or business that reaches true product market fit in the space will want and necessitate its own chain, its own layer 1 blockchain. And I mean, frankly, we had Converge today, right? So they're building their own chain. So I think we'll start seeing more of that, and inherently they'll have to be interoperable.
So just curious, who here in the audience thinks the world needs more blockchains? All right, there's 3 people.
I don't mean entire blockchain networks, right? They can be Avalanche L1s, they can be Cosmos chains. I think what we really need to see to see the tipping point is for a Web 2 company, whether it's a neobank or a wealth tech platform, one of these that is not necessarily like a traditional incumbent bank, but maybe a challenger that really starts to adopt the tech and start really kind of gearing up its business, building a moat. And that's when I think others will start to have FOMO and kind of come in and really start to like ramp things up on their side.
Haven't we seen that a bit with JP Morgan though?
With JP Morgan?
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen
And Onyx, like the
yet.
blockchain, the it girl.
All right, so the point they're making there is that there is a massive shift underway right now, and I think what they're alluding to could be the spot that Robinhood is trying to fill. And you guys heard me probably talk a little bit about Robinhood. Big announcements this week. They've got this whole new money manager plan, but they're also looking at becoming a bank for you in the fall. That could be this Web 2 bank that could understand the connection into blockchain and tie this in. So with that, I want to go to this next clip with Vlad, the CEO of Robinhood. Take a look.
There's actually a lot that we're going to get done this year. So investing in the Robinhood wallet, thousands of additional coins. And then we have Bitstamp. And we really see an opportunity there to drive the same sort of Robinhood effect that we've brought to retail to the institutional space with crypto. But what I'm perhaps most excited about is tokenization. Equities, private investments, and more should be brought onto crypto technology to really unleash the true power of the crypto revolution.
Look at Uniswap right here. Just check the chain. All volume on Uniswap, V4 just crossed 2.5 billion with Ethereum, Arbitrum Base, etc. ETH, of course, is still continuing to climb and grow. So I think, again, this lines up very well with what's happening. Furthermore, if you look at that and look at the validator right here, just to get into, take a look at the validator queue, but also I want to showcase right here, this growth right here that we see on active validators, this is over the last year, all growing. And remember that when you're trying to grow something, you need developers and you need infrastructure and you need ecosystem. That's where Ethereum, of course, comes into play. This next clip will get into, well, if you have all that and you have potential investment coming in, where would it go? Take a look.
Over the next several decades, 124 trillion is going to be handed down from older generations to younger, including many of the gold members in this room. The great wealth transfer, the largest movement of assets in human history. We're putting the pieces in place so that we can fulfill your daily and your lifetime financial needs, some of which you'll hear about at our first crypto event in France in just 3 months.
And with that, you got to look at Etherealize. Etherealize is just opening up the potential here for product marketing on the Ethereum ecosystem. They are able to tell the story to boomers. Boomers, of course, all in these, funds, all in these institutional capital houses, who also are in a position where they're starting to transfer wealth. So this is where Etherealize is winning over boomers. Take a look at this clip.
Etherealize is very new. We started a few months ago. Our vision is to bring all the world's financial assets onto Ethereum, starting with the focus on Wall Street, right? Let's say you have Apple stock. You could put this on chain. You could plug it into a DeFi protocol. You could take a loan out against it, split it up into like its principal and its dividend components.
It'd be nice to have that dividend piece too, because that's real value right there.
Oh, for sure. We have a lot of other things I can't talk about right now, unfortunately, in the pipeline. This is kind of akin to what Amazon does, where they prioritize usage instead of profits in order to grow and kind of take over the market.
And by the way, too, if you think about what they did technically, it was simple building blocks.
Yeah.
And then fill it in, as they say, working backwards from the customer, which is their ethos. But similar things are happening in Ethereum.
Yes.
That's the story.
Yeah. Ethereum was just one platform. Yeah. It did about 12 transactions a second. Okay. Ethereum needs to do thousands, and that's what rollups allow it to do. Pretty soon, they'll all be able to interoperate seamlessly.
And getting better. So the evolutionary nature of Ethereum right now is a positive.
Oh, yeah.
To your point about the growth piece.
For sure.
So now, 15, 20 years ago, AWS, okay, why should I build a data center? Their value proposition was clear. I got a prototype, don't yet know what it is. That democratized no names like Airbnb, Dropbox came out of the woodwork. Boom, massive wealth creation. The numbers are off the charts. That a similar concept attracts developers. Ethereum attracts that persona. They go, I like this. But you have all these other factors in Ethereum that you don't have on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's kind of lagging that, in my opinion, on Ethereum.
Yeah, well, you know, people use Ethereum.
Good point right there. If you have the answer, you have to be willing to be misunderstood for a long time. And Amazon Web Services was misunderstood. I mean, people were throwing haymakers at them. Oh, it's just trivial. Anyone can do that. What they were missing was you weren't comparing the right things.
If you go back to 2006, here, this is Amazon's stock price in 2006, right around $1.70. That line in the sand right there was when AWS was created. Look at the growth of Amazon. And guys, it didn't stop there. This just kept going. This is the Amazon stock as we started to see AWS and the future potential of what Amazon would become. And I think that's the point where we are right now with financial assets and the potential of us seeing ETH along with other ecosystems accelerate into this next generation, possibly the possibly the next internet, in terms of growth and opportunity here. So a lot to talk about. We're going to continue to cover this for you guys. Of course, if you're not subscribed to the channel, get in there right now and make sure and jump into our Diamond Circle. It's our own private email to you guys, keeps you caught up with what's happening on our show, but also within the industry. Follow me out there on X @Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.